What is up, WTF Nation? Radio. I am one half of the sports bar, the actual King Smith, and we have a special treat for y'all that are going to be viewing and or listening today as the coach is at a coaching clinic drawing up playbooks. So hosting today's show with me is none other than the smoke pit himself. Radar is in the building. Say what's up, Radar.
Hey, what's up, King? Man, thanks for having me on, buddy.
Hey, man, I am glad you were able to fill in for Coach. You know, you are a little bit more handsomer than Coach, if I do say so myself.
You know, it's the beard. That's what it is. It's the beard. It's my wife tells me my face is very sittable or something. I don't know.
Yes, yes, you have a sittable face. All right. Now, before we get into today's show, let's acknowledge a couple of things. Let's get the marketing stuff out the way. First of all, y'all, we're streaming across multiple platforms because when you combine Air Force and Army, sometimes you can do smart things. Okay. So we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, X, Kick, and I'm missing one. Facebook, YouTube, X, Kick, and no, that's it. And
YouTube.
also the Sports Bars page over on Facebook and my personal Facebook page because there's people like, dude, I didn't know that you have a sports live stream. And I'm like, for as much as I talk about myself, you should know that I do a Sunday show every Sunday here at WTF Nation Radio / US Army WTF Moments, which I have to laugh, by the way. My own girlfriend, who is one of my biggest supporters, was blocked from US Army WTF Moments. I've been sending it to her because she was like, hey, people have been commenting, but I don't see it. I can't get access to the other one. And I was like, that's strange. But yeah, she was blocked, but all is now fixed. Hey, Michelle, you should be able to comment now on the main page.
She's like the first person ever to be blocked by U.S. Army WTF Nation Radio, and I don't know how that happened.
As a supporter too, she has done nothing but support the show. So she is now able to comment. We did get that fixed. Thanks, boss man and station manager, for fixing that. But Radar, you have your own show.
I
We have
do.
our show, but there are other shows here at WTF Nation Radio. Why don't you let the listeners know who all have shows and what they talk about before
Right.
we
Well,
get to our show?
because we have shows 6 nights a week here at WTF Nation Radio. We have your show right now with me, normally Coach, but with me tonight, the Sports Bar every Sunday, bringing you sportsing. And then the aptly named Monday edition. The Monday edition happens every Monday, an edition of that. And that is, what the hell's the new guy's name? And Ice. Macy, right? Whatever. Yes. I'm bad at that. Anyway, and then Tuesday, Pop Culture Warrior. And then Wednesday, my show with Pop Culture Warrior with CQ and one of his harem of co-hosts. And then Wednesday night is the Smoke Pit with me and TZ. And then it's Artist Time with Ice and Spanky on Saturday or on Thursday nights. They bring you all the armying stuff. And then every other Friday, we have Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and Pookie. So they'll be here. And then Saturday's a Donza Day. I just like throwing it in there.
And what does Donza stand for again?
A day of no scheduled activities. It's for Spanky. A day of no Spanky activities.
Day of no Spanky. I like it.
So did I get under my 90 seconds? Did I get my?
It was.
Yeah. Let's go.
It was 76 seconds. You have the record.
Fucking go. Yeah.
You have the record. Coach, if you are listening, 76 seconds is the new record.
Oof. I did leave a lot out though. I didn't get like half the names in there.
Hey, you did a whole lot better than me. I'd be like, so we have a Monday show, and then we have a Tuesday show, and then we got a Wednesday show. Followed by a Thursday show.
Anybody who listens on Wednesdays know that's like I do that. I do mine at the end, and then it's like I'm half drunk and half relaxed and just out of it, and I just drag it on for like 10 minutes. So
yes. All right. So the great part about you being my co-host today as well is that we played each other in our WTF Nation Radio Listeners League.
Oh, you spanked me. You spanked me in our league. We can give one of the deets, but it's not good.
Yeah, let's get this out the way now. So bringing up our WTF Nation Radio Listeners League. Let's play the intro. Where's the intro? Here we go. I got intros, bruh. I got intros.
Love it. I love everything you've got going on here. I need to up my game. My game is so bad. You got
Hey,
like graphics and you got like intros and shit. I'm like, nah.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. You know, I'm building this thing as I fly it over here. But let's get into it. So let me hold on. Y'all can't be. This is G14.
Yeah, let's start with this one. This one's way more exciting to me.
All right. So the fact that Danica / Annika over here is still on auto, probably haven't logged in since we created this. Why did you join? If you wasn't going
To beat us, she beat me too, Flash. Don't feel bad.
it's gonna beat Flash, who's managing his team. But look, she's got a solid roster of people that when they show up, they can play. And then drafting Alvin Kamara, but losing Kamara for the first 3 games. I mean, a healthy Kamara is still going to get 20 to 25 touches, and the rest of her team decided to go off too. Okay. The thing that made me mad is the fact that Justin Jefferson, and I believe we're going to have the graphic up to talk about it, might have, well, him and Patrick Mahomes cost me $1,995, but we'll talk about that later. We got Tim Hinkle, who I invited into the group, is going to put the smackdown over Show Me Your TDs, Josh Beck, and end up being 3-3. This was a week that whoever had DJ Moore, which I'm circling right here on the screen, won. It was an auto win. If you happen
Absolutely.
to have DJ Moore and Jamar Chase on the same lineup, you had 100 points right there just between them two.
Yeah. DJ Moore got more points than most of my team did combined.
Damn.
He did.
Wow. Oh, here we go. I think we have our first sweat of tonight. We got my man Ambassador Wilson going up against WTF Nation Radio's Mad Mike in a projected 101 to 105. Let's see. Ambassador Wilson has CeeDee Lamb, who's playing tonight, as well as San Francisco's kicker. And then we'll see what he's got total combined to see what Mad Mike would need to beat with Jacoby Myers left to play on Monday. How do you think that this one might play out?
Ooh, I don't know. That's gonna be a tough one because Jacoby Myers is good. That's good. You know, I'm gonna say this though. I think it's gonna be close, man. It's too close to call. If it's an election, I ain't calling it yet.
Oh, nope.
I ain't calling it yet. Who do you think?
Larson has the worst luck ever. There's this thing that we call Larson luck. It's whatever's there's good luck, bad luck, and I accidentally hit the mute button. See, I started talking about Larson.
And this is something, and I want to touch on this though. He's got Lamar Jackson, right? Mad Mike's got Lamar Jackson up there, who in years past has been a fantasy stud.
Yep.
Like basically, if you drafted Lamar Jackson, you were getting most of the W's. He's getting shut down a lot these days. Like
he doesn't look good. He doesn't pass the eye test. And I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. They lost the real life game. And I'm just sitting here scratching my head like, what the hell is going on? Who's doing these play calling? And when Lamar Jackson's out there on the field, he doesn't look motivated to win.
No,
He looks like, hey, man, I'm out here. We're not doing much.
Yeah, it seems like real slow. It seems like it doesn't feel like it's his football game anymore.
Nope.
Is he got? Do you think he's got like a hidden injury somewhere? Because he's not rushing the ball. He's not rushing the ball near as well as he did last couple of years.
I don't think it's a hidden injury. I think that they have really uninspired play calling.
I get that. Do you think that he's kind of looking at like no matter how hard he tries, they're not going to really do well in the playoffs?
Ooh.
You see what I mean? Like he's just beating a dead horse. Like he could throw 500 yards a game and rush for another 200, but they're still not going to make that. They're not Super Bowl contenders.
Based on what?
Based on just kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like, when you watch some teams, the Dolphins this year, right? The Dolphins are on fire. And there's no particular reason why they are. They're just hitting on all 8 cylinders. They're doing great. And then you watch the Ravens, and you're just kind of like, meh, meh. They don't have that energy. They don't have the, like, you can't put your finger on it, but they don't feel like they're going to be a contender.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you have that kind of meh attitude, it just kind of infiltrates everything.
It does. It does. I found that out about 2 weeks ago on, uh just kinda due to something else. There was just one particular person that was looking at things and talking very negative, and the rest of the team can hear this stuff too, and I'm like, "Hey, can you, like, chill out because we're winning, but what you're doing right now doesn't help us out long term."
Yep.
And people don't understand the impact that that could have, especially in a team sport. But
Yep.
I agree with you, and it's not just you. I was talking to my lady about it, and she was saying the same thing, as well as CQ. You were like, he doesn't look inspired out there.
Mm.
Like, I wouldn't look to him and go, "Yeah, let's rally and win this." No, he's not giving
And
us
it's not
that.
just him either. This is like the whole team. Like watching that game, I just felt very much they're like meh. It's
Yep.
just like they're running through honey or something. And it just they don't have the make. And there's not a lack of talent. It's a talented team.
Mhm.
Like when you look at it statistically, they should be considerably better than what they are. They're just meh.
Meh.
So
100%. I know that Matt Mike has to be mad staring at a 36.4 bench player that I wanna say almost combined to what his 2, RB1, RB2, and his flex player had.
this has been a rough week for running backs, though.
Running backs,
This has been a rough week on the ORBs, all of them, kind of across
all
the
of
board. There's been a couple of good scores. I'm not saying there hasn't been any real jumps, but there's been a lot of people that have been in that, you know, James Cook right there at 5.1. You
Mhm.
know, Derrick Henry. Then they're both RB1s. I'd have them as a RB1. You know, and they're just, you know, they're busting. And what do you do about it? I mean, they're averaging, you know, nothing really.
Nope.
Why? Who do I have that just really upset me the other day?
Look at yeah, and while you look that up, going to the next game, CQ with his 150s, turning things around. He's gonna be above 500, and he's, talking
Yeah, because
shit.
he's still got Josh Jacobs you have to left to play.
Mhm.
Mm.
52-point monster
Oof.
performance by Jamar Chase, who set a team franchise record for catches at 15. It was previously 13.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
Puka Nuka. I know it's Puka Nakua, but Puka Nuka came
Puka.
on the
That was a good
scene.
pickup.
Some people thought that Cooper Kupp returning was gonna impact good old Puka, who doesn't even have his picture in Madden yet, bro. This dude is leading in receiving and doesn't even have his picture updated in Madden. But
Mm-mm.
man, if you were one of the people who picked him up, shout out to you. And then we're gonna end with oh no, actually there's 2 more. We have steaming pile of chocolate, and I put the pile in there because that's what, Glenn is sitting at right now. He's gonna end 2 and 3. A Seance is gonna get his second win, which he's one of the more active people in here. Kyle, I
Mhm.
don't know if you're watching or listening, but congrats for picking up your second win. You can still turn things around. And then you get to us.
Yep. See,
I
I don't
don't
know
even
why they don't give you like just 100%. There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way. I could take out my kicker just to
You can take out
ensure.
your kick and still and you've already cinched it.
Yep. Because what if he got, like, negative what's this, 18 points?
Something like that, yeah. You
Yeah,
have to get negative. Your kick. I don't know how a kicker would get negative 18, but yeah, I don't know.
it could be possible. It could be possible. The US
Mm.
Army WTF moment says, "I bet you are." What up, Ice? I appreciate you popping in. So that is where we're sitting at. I'm gonna end the week
See, like
undefeated too.
Devontae Smith, man, sitting at 1.6, dog. I was like, come on, man, do something.
Do
One catch for
something.
6 yards. One
And
catch for 6 yards, dude.
I don't even think he saw that many targets. Like it seemed like when Hurts was
No.
looking downfield, he hit Watkins on. So he gave Watkins several targets. AJ Brown was lighting it up too, and then Goddard. Oh my goodness, Goddard started out in the first drive. I want to say there were 7 passes thrown. Goddard had 4 of the 7 for a touchdown on the first drive, and that's what kind of set the pace. And
Mhm.
Smith is your boom or bust guy. I don't He doesn't really have like a solid floor. He's going to get you 4 catches for 120 and 2 touchdowns, or he's going to get you 2 for like 50.
Right.
And I you this has to
But
make
he's been averaging like 15 points.
Mhm.
He's been averaging 50. He averages 15.6 points so far. And that's including today. Right? So I mean, like, it'd be down not to play him, but then he just didn't get shit tonight. So hey, he's not the only. I got plenty of single digits on there. Yeah, go
Yeah.
down. You'll see why. Go down, you'll see why. I got the
Woo.
Seahawks, and they're on bye.
Yeah.
So, because the
Eh,
Seahawks got me like 26 points last week. They murdered last week.
Yep, 29. Ooh.
29. Yeah.
And let's see who they're playing against next week. They go and they travel to Cincinnati. So, do you stream defenses? Like, are you just gonna rock with Cincy?
For a little bit. I think I'm gonna rock him for a little bit.
All right. I mean, hey, look, you got Cincinnati actually looked like they found their rhythm on offense.
I
And
think
then
they'll be
you
all
go
right.
back at Arizona, Cleveland, the
Here's
Ravens.
here's the way, and this is the way. I mean, and I know I'm not by far a fantasy expert at all, right? But to me, a defense and a kicker, I kind of figure are good for like 5 to 7 points, maybe 10 if they're
Mhm.
on it. It's just kind of the way it is, and it kind of doesn't matter what kicker you have or what defense you have. You're kind of good. Very rarely they're going to score 30 points. I understand that. You know what I mean? But if they can stay in that 2 to 5 to 7, just don't go negative. Basically, I'll be all right with them. So, um, but yeah, I'll push him around a little bit too. Tank Dell got hurt. That kind of he's been doing good too. See, now I was afraid to play Tutu Atwell
Yeah, no.
with Cooper Cup coming back, but he
Mhm.
even with 8.9, he did better than most of my other wide receivers. So yeah, I should put him in.
Man, hey, let's check one more thing here because tonight we do have the kickoff that should be kicking off right now, actually. The Sunday night game between the Cowboys and the 49ers. And let's remind people, I made a bet with one of the viewers and with coach that the Cowboys would win this game. I did that just to bet because I know that coach and the viewer was going to go with the 49ers.
We're going to
So
fight. Oh.
so I bet that the Cowboys would actually pull this game off tonight, and we bet 20 push-ups that have to be filmed and
We gotta
published.
film him.
Yep, filmed and published on the sports bar. Luckily for me, if I lose this bet, I'm actually okay in the push-ups department. See these short arms? They don't have to go that far.
I don't gotta go to have fun.
So let's see. Looking at tonight's game, again, we have Dallas traveling to San Francisco. That's going to be kicking off here shortly.
What's your thought on that game?
Well, San Francisco is 3.5 point favorites. Looking at the injuries here, there aren't any notable injuries or people that are listed as inactive that I think would really affect this game overall. Being that Vegas and odds makers have it 45 points total with a 3.5 point spread. I think the factor is going to be if Dallas and them can play in the San Francisco game time weather of a nice fall 77-degree weather out there on the West Coast in the evening. And if San Francisco can keep everybody healthy. If they can, oh man, I hate to say it, only because I made the bet. Cowboys by 10.
By 10?
10
I think
points.
by touchdown.
Cowboys by a
I
touchdown.
think Cowboys by touchdown. I think 10's pushing it. I think Cowboys by
Wow.
I don't know. I think by And honestly, probably less. I think it's gonna be close. I think Mike Larson's got a point. It's the first real team Dallas faces.
Ooh, okay. He says it's the first real team that Dallas faces, and they'll get stumped. What's the? Let me look at the Cowboys' rest of their schedule. So coming up after this, they got the Chargers, followed by the Rams, then the Eagles. Listen to this schedule. After the Eagles, Giants, Panthers, Commanders. Huh. Oh man. Cowboys are skating through their schedule so far.
Yep.
This is ridiculous. If they could pull off this win, it might get some people to change the narrative, but then when you look at the rest of their schedule, they don't play nobody.
Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't really. I don't know. It's padding their stats a little bit, but they're still not really getting that good of stats. So
Nope.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think they'll do all right. I think they win by a touchdown. So then they win by a touchdown. I think the 49ers have kind of. I don't know. I don't think the 49ers have been playing like that great either. I think they're both
They-
very kind of mid teams right now. I think they're both kind of mid.
Ooh. I don't give the 49ers in the mid category because their defense has been pretty good. Like watching them play defense, you're like, okay, that's what a defense should look like.
Right. But they're still not putting points on the board.
True.
You know what I mean? You can have the best defense in the world, but if you don't score any points, if they get 7 in and you get none, they still win 7-0.
True.
So it's kind of it just doesn't feel like their offense is all there. Their defense is steady. I don't think it's the best defense in the league. I think they've been steady, but I don't think that they are going to be like I don't know.
Who do
Now
you think has the best defense in the league currently?
all in all,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Dolphins maybe?
Statistically, it's Cleveland,
Really?
followed by Dallas.
Yeah, but I don't take it. Like who they're playing though?
True.
I mean, you can read the numbers and you can, you know what I mean? If all they're playing is like Idiot Skills Community College, then of course they're gonna have good numbers. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I don't know. I do. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be. I think it'll be one of those games that it's not going to be a blowout, and it's not going to be one. I don't even think from the very beginning you're going to watch that game and be like, "Oh, yep, they got it."
True that.
I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think that it'll be probably honestly the most fun game to watch all weekend.
Well, hey, good. I'm glad you said that because we might be ending the show early
So you can watch it.
so that I can finish watching it.
All right, good night, everybody. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see. Oh, we have some people in the comments. Shout out to Grooming and Reviews over on YouTube. Said King, guess who won tonight? That's right, Jets, Jets. We have Karina Ibsen in the building with the laughing emoji. What's up? And salute to you for popping in. Grooming and Review said, I'll paint your team on my butt cheeks if the Cowboys were to win. But
Ooh.
like, how would you need a mirror to do that yourself? Do you like and stencil it in? How does that work?
Wagner Power Painter.
Hey, I told y'all coach was at a coaching clinic, said this is coach commenting from the Sports Bars page, listening to y'all while driving home. Cowboys are gonna suck as bad as Denver tonight.
Ooh.
And then Michelle said, Coach, are you texting and driving? Because that sounds mightily illegal of you. Station, well, you sound like the station mom over there, Michelle.
The Jets won, but I'm too heartbroken to finish that sentence.
Yeah.
It
Man,
must be tough. That'd be, you know what? That's being a Jets fan must be tough. They just let you down all the time. All the time.
Since we're talking about fantasy football, we can stay on NFL news now. What did you see today besides injuries that stood out to you?
I'd almost come off the backside of those injuries and the people coming back from injuries, or the people are coming back and Kamara coming off his the people coming back in like Cooper Kupp, Kamara coming back from his suspension, like that kind of, it feels like if it feels like there's been a lot of like how do I say that? Like bullshit injuries. I'm a soccer fan, right? I watch a lot of soccer, right? And so when I say bullshit injuries, I'm like, come on, man. Like you're diving in the box. I just feel like a lot of those injuries, a lot of hips, right? Oh, my hip hurts. Yeah, motherfucker, you're getting paid like $3 billion a year. Get out there and catch a football. I don't give a shit about your hip. Buy a new one. Buy a new couch, you rich motherfucker. But anyway, it just feels like the people coming off those injuries could do more of an impact than the people going off on injuries, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like, it feels like we're getting a lot of people kind of healthier coming back in that have been out for a little bit. And I think that could really shape it more. I feel like at least on my team and like watching it and doing a little bit that I've done with football, I haven't had a chance to because I've been so busy, but it feels like I spent more time trying to fill those holes in my roster of people who were hurt than I have like really enjoying the good players who I drafted on draft day, right? And so now that those injured people are coming back, that can kind of make the universe right again. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
That's been my feeling on it. I don't know. I think that like I think it's kind of par for the course. So I feel like right now I haven't seen anything today in the games, and I've watched a little bit now. I got back from soccer this, so I got back around 1 o'clock. So I feel like the afternoon games anyway had just kind of been like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. That's what's going to happen. And seeing people come back has been good, but I feel like there hasn't been any super upsets. I feel like there hasn't been like anything great. At least not that I saw. That was like, yay, good job. So I said I really think that Cowboy 49er game is the game to watch this weekend. I think that's going to be the exciting one. That's the one that's going to get us on our seats.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it. There weren't any of the earlier games. I almost fell asleep during the 4 o'clock games. The one thing that kept me excited was I did a 9-leg parlay on the FanDuel Sportsbook, and I started out needing Josh Allen to have like a rushing touchdown or a receiving touchdown. He got
Mhm.
it. I needed Jalen Hurts to have over 40 rushing yards. He got it. I needed Tua to have over 280 passing yards and Tariq Hill to have over, I think, 80 yards. I
Yeah.
got both of those. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I hit
You could take
4.
2 interceptions with you too while you were doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, but you know what? It is what it is.
It
I had
is.
4 of my 9-leg parlay going. The next 2 were from the Kansas City Chiefs game in which I needed Mahomes to get over 2.5 touchdowns passing, and Justin Jefferson of the Vikings to have over 102 passing yards. And neither got me either one of those. So it pretty much killed my 9-leg parlay. Now, the uh if the Dallas and San Francisco game ends up covering those legs and the only ones I missed were those two, I'm going to be hot because that Vikings Chiefs game was supposed to be a shootout. It was
Mhm.
predicted to be a shootout, and it was kind of a snooze fest.
Yeah. I agree. It was everyone that though they were hyping that game up.
Yep.
They were really hyping that game up. But then when it came down to it, and I got to think, I'm like, man, no, those teams aren't supposed to have a shootout. Like, you know what I mean? Those teams aren't supposed to air the ball out and get 1,000 yards apiece. It just isn't. They're not those teams this year.
Nope. Let's get into our sports trivia. But while I set this up, I have a video because y'all know I like to play funny freaking videos over here. This video was sent to me by a listener of the show, and take a look. These are the kind of people that need to watch the sports bar because none of these fools got any of these easy questions right. Take a look.
Choice, do or don't name this play in which the quarterback runs the ball and can choose to pitch it to another back. It's an option play. Ryan?
Football 400.
I can tell you guys are big football fans.
Yeah.
Tom Landry perfected the shotgun formation with this team. Dallas Cowboys? Do you think we should go to commercial? Ryan?
Take it on to 600.
Okay, by signaling for one of these, a returner can reel in a kick without fear of getting tackled.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Fair catch. 2 clues left, Ryan.
800.
These penalties are simultaneous violations by the offense and defense that cancel each other out.
They just stand
They
there.
are called offsetting penalties. Let's look at the $1,000 clue just for the fun of it. Jimmy?
As Minneapolis's U.S. Bank Stadium prepares to host Super Bowl 52, I'm looking at the Ring of Honor with names from this defensive line that took the Vikings to 4 Super Bowls.
Oh man.
If you guys ring in and get this one, I will die. Who are the purple people eaters? We're going to take a break.
I mean, I'm 5 of 5 in that category. How about you?
I'd have been 4 to 5. I wouldn't have got the purple people eaters. My uncles, my parents, and my whole family is big. My mom's from Minnesota, so they're big Vikings fans. But that's before me, and when I heard it, I remembered it. But there's no way I would have got that at first.
True that. True that.
No.
Let's see. We got David Cunningham in the building. Said, "Hey, King." He said, "Hey, King and Coach. Hey, this is the more sexier version of Coach.
Yeah, the more sittable face.
The more sittable face, the sittable faced man himself, Radar." Now, let's get into our sports trivia question for today, which I'm going to pop up on the screen. So, as a reminder, how I do this is I will read the question, then I will pop the question up on the screen, and then I will read the question again. After that, I will play a 30-second timer to give the people and Radar the opportunity to figure out what the answer is. This one is relatively easy. You should get this. If you
All right.
don't, I don't know what to say. All right. So today, our sports trivia question is: which winter sport combines biking and skis? Either skis instead of wheels on the bike frame or foot skis. Again, the sports trivia question is: what winter sport combines biking and skis? Either skis instead of wheels on the bike frame or foot skis. 30 seconds and go. Again, which winter sport combines biking and skis? Radar, what say you?
I think it's snowmobiling, but I know that's not right.
Mhm.
I've seen these guys with, and they look like downhill mountain bikes, and they've got like a skis in place of the wheels, and I don't know exactly what they're called. I've seen them, but I just all I can think of is like biathlon, and I know that's not right, and I think of snowmobiling because they're kind of like a motorcycle on a skis, but that's just it. Is it like is it like ski bobbing or something like that? Do they have that? Is
Ding,
that what it's
ding,
called?
ding.
Is that
It
it?
is called, put it up on the screen here, ski bobbing,
Oh
right?
shit.
It is called ski bobbing. Now let's take a look at what that looks
Uh-huh.
like because what you described it was perfect. It's like a motorcycle skis on like a
Mhm.
bicycle frame essentially,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, but
That red one right there, if you go back, like those red ones that have like with the forks, actual forks on them, you just had the little finger over it. Go down, down, down,
this one.
right there. Yep. One of the guys, because there's a ski mountain like literally like 3 miles from my house, right? And a couple of those guys have those. They look just like those red ones, and they've got like the suspension fork and everything on them. But yeah.
It seems like if you're going down too fast and you tumble, it might be a bad day.
Oh, that's on anything.
Have you ever tried it?
I've never quite figured out on those like how they'd slow down.
Yeah, like
You
where's
know what
the
I
bike
mean?
at?
Yeah.
Ski bobbing.
But
Did
I think they
anybody have
actually
any
make
bike?
kits. I think they make a kit where you can put them on a bicycle. Like if you have like I have a downhill bike and you can buy like a thing to put it on there. But um fun fact too, if you really want to be miserable in the snow, you can get a fat tire bike and then you can pedal up the hill in the snow. You seen those?
No. Why would you
Yeah.
do that to yourself?
I don't know. I do in the summertime. I go downhill biking where put your bike on the ski lift in the summertime so the snow's all gone and you ride your bike down they have trails cut into the ski runs.
Now
That's
that would
way
sound
more
like
fun.
a fun time. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That would say that's fun to me. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
I could
'Cause you
do
don't got to
that.
pedal. It's
But
great.
pedaling uphill? No,
Mm.
no,
No.
nope, not doing it. Not doing it. You got coach over the sports bar says ski bobbing sounds like a sexual experience.
Could be fun. Too
Could
cold though.
be.
Too cold. Get an innie instead of an Audi. Can't be doing that shit.
We have our first score of the game. David Cunningham said that the 49ers are up 7-0. It looks like Brock Purdy had a pass to George Kittle for 19 yards, and San Francisco's first up on the board. The Cowboys had the ball. They went 3 and out, producing literally nothing. And San Francisco said, let me show y'all how it's done. I might be doing these push-ups, man, and I don't feel too thrilled about it. Not one bit.
I mean, that'd be cool. That's probably what's gonna happen. Turn around. I pulled it up now. I pulled it up on my other screen. So I'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, I don't have the game on. I just have like the ticker going.
Got you.
Yeah. The little Google ticker. But yeah.
All right, Radar, I'm going to give you some quick sports headlines, and I want you to give me your first 1 to 2 sentences, just kind of your first thoughts about what you think about when you hear these headlines here. So let me put up sports quick hits up here and bring up the first one. In the WNBA Finals Game 1, the Aces win over the New York Liberty.
Oh, you want me to respond? Whatever. I don't know shit about the WNBA, dude. If they were good, they just play basketball. I don't. So
All right.
I'm waiting for like Kobe Bryant to be like, nah, dude, I'm fucking transgender, and then be like, go score 1,000 points a game.
In college football, Miami loses in one of the worst ways possible to Georgia Tech.
That's what they do. Georgia Tech. I like Georgia Tech, so I'm glad they won.
Did you see what happened?
No, I didn't see what happened. I was stuck on soccer field all day yesterday.
Let me bring this up.
Okay.
I do have the video to this one. This is ridiculous.
All right.
Okay. So Miami was leading, clock was ticking under 40 something odd seconds.
Okay.
Miami needed to just kneel the ball. I don't think that there were any timeouts left for Georgia Tech, and just take a look at what happens.
No, it's under 4 seconds. Just take a knee. Like, you should not be handing this football off. Right. I don't know what Miami is doing.
That's it. And here's Chaney. Just straight ahead, tackled, and the ball popped out.
You got to read the clock.
Georgia Tech has it with 26 seconds left.
Yep.
Information there to change this.
Here's Jeff Easer.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Georgia Tech.
So with 26 seconds left, Miami commits its fourth.
And clock the football.
Singleton, the fastest of the receivers, to the top of the screen. Here's King from the pocket. Flush to his right with 6. 5. Going to loop it downfield. And ball is caught. Touchdown, Georgia Tech.
Yep.
With 1 second to go in the ball game, Christian Leary hauls it in.
Good.
All of the analysts between last night and today were like, what was Cristobal thinking running the football?
Or any of them thinking, did they just not know what the hell was going on? Maybe they're just new at football. but good.
Yeah.
What's that term? Oh God, what do we think about? What do we think about?
F
Fuck
around
around and find out. Yeah, that's what they did.
That's exactly what they did. Oh,
So
you
yeah, I don't know. Why if you were standing there as okay, as a coach, if you were standing there as like, say you're an assistant coach, right? You're like, I don't know, the defensive coordinator or some shit, and you see them lining up to do that. What the fuck are you doing? Losing your mind? Like,
yo,
what the fuck are you doing, dude?
yep, I'm excited now. Do you think that because this is college, pros are a little bit different. You get that play as the quarterback, and you go, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that." And you call a QB kneel. Do you think that there should be some type of latitude that a smarter quarterback would be like, "Yep, nope, not doing it."
Okay, let me ask you this. I'm gonna flip that around on you. If you're
Uh-huh.
sitting there as a quarterback and you just like, no, I'm gonna fucking do it. What are they gonna do to you? Because that looks like the play. Anybody watching that game film be like, yeah, take the fucking knee, run the clock out, you win the game. Like, and if you came back as the coach and like at the press conference, like, I told that motherfucker to run the ball and he took a knee. Like, you can't do that as the head coach. You're gonna get fired like that, dude. Coach Prime's like, I'll coach your team too from like by my tablet or some shit. I will just text in plays.
Mhm.
Like, how could you do that? You couldn't get mad at the guy for like disobeying you because it's
It
the play to do.
it's the play to do, and you still won.
It's like playing Madden against a 5-year-old that's hitting buttons.
Mhm.
That's like what it is. Yeah.
I watched that play live, and I'm sitting there screaming at the TV, QB kneel, QB kneel. What are you doing?" Before the play was even snapped.
Yep.
And then it happened, and I'm just like, "That's what you get.
Yep. That's
That's what you
exactly what
get."
you get.
I called my buddy who's a huge Hurricanes fan, and he knew exactly what I was calling, didn't pick up. He ran from me. He knew exactly why I was calling.
Oh, yeah. That's oof. That's pretty
David
rough.
Cunningham said, "Hey, Air Force, are you ready to do push-ups?" "Yeah, I'm gonna owe 20 to you and 20 to coach, it seems." You weren't on both myself and Radar predicted the Cowboys to win. I said by 10, he said by 7. It's still early though.
It's still early. It's still 7-0.
It's still early. It is still 7-0. Who has the ball right now?
Cowboys do.
Cowboys got it. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Dak, do something. Let me grab that little stick so I can hit you and tell you to do something. What else do we have here on sports news? Do you think that USC is the team to beat in college?
No, I think they're overrated. I think they're overrated.
Oklahoma wins the Red River rivalry against Texas.
It's the funnest game I've ever been to. Red River Shootout. It's the funnest game I've ever been to in real life.
When'd you go?
That'd been 2000.
Nice. Yeah,
You know what? This is a good story. So I was stationed in Texas, right? I was stationed in Dallas Fort Worth at the time, and at the Fort Worth base, the Marine Corps Air Station Fort Worth, whatever. And my buddies and I went down there, and we're wearing just like, I don't know, like black t-shirts, some shit. And we had UT hats, and we had OU hats, and we would swap them around, and we go up to a big fucking group of like fucking UT guys, be like, those guys over there, they're fucking talking shit, dude. They're trying to fucking beat us up, and that guy trying to steal my wallet and shit. And then just go fuck, and start brawling, and we'd fucking take her, and they'd go run away, and we would just keep switching ball caps over, and we just tuck them in the back of our shirts. We probably started like 5 or 6 fights in downtown Dallas that night. It was great. It was, and then went to the game, and that was the most fun. And because I was like 20 years old, we're all Marines. We're just going. We went there, got fucking drunk as shit. I banged some girl from OU, and then we fucking left. It was great.
Did you ever go up to Altus, Oklahoma at all?
Maybe,
So
probably.
so there's an army base up there in like the Lawton area. I'm sorry, not Altus. Did you ever get to like the Lawton area?
Fort Sill?
Yes.
Yeah, I went to Fort Sill.
Did you ever go to any of the strip clubs out near that area? I did. Let me
No,
just tell
I
you, I did.
didn't. I avoided the strip clubs.
If you went to any of the strip clubs up there, they weren't, like if you think like Atlanta, Magic City, you got your strip clubs and your brick and mortar establishments. Well, when you're a young, Air Force guy around that area, in Oklahoma, your strip clubs might be in a trailer park, all right?
Mhm.
But man, talk about some memories. Talk about some memories, man, when I was 19 and 20. Stuff that we cannot say here on the sports bar.
Yo,
Ah,
I
man.
didn't go. I heard lots of stories about it. I didn't get out there because at the time I was married, and like, because I went down there like after a while, and I was already been in for a minute. Went down there, and yeah, I was more preoccupied with getting home. I wasn't like young anymore, so it
Ah,
wasn't as much fun.
true that,
I had
true
so
that.
much fun. I had so much fun in Fort Worth, though. Dallas Fort Worth, man, that was great. 'Cause I
Man,
was stationed like on the west end of Fort Worth, kind of over by where Cause is at. That was great. It
you're
was
lucky,
fantastic.
man. You're lucky. Every time I go out to the Dallas or Fort Worth area, I always have a good time. I actually have an
Mhm.
old supervisor who lives out there and said that anytime I want to come visit, I don't have to grab a hotel room. I could just bring my daughter, bring my lady, and come stay with her. I'm like, I will absolutely take you up on that offer. And
Mhm.
then it's nice. The food's good. Oh, hey, might have to. Hey, Michelle, if you're listening, Florida's not off the table completely for me. But Fort Worth is starting to sound like it could be the move. I got 2 more years, Radar, until I have to, and then I could seriously consider leaving Maryland. I don't like it here one
No,
bit.
I've heard very little good about basically all of that area since COVID.
Phew. Dude, it's the prices
Mhm.
skyrocketed,
Yeah.
right? Absolutely skyrocketed. Michelle said Florida
Full.
is off, might be for you. Oh, man.
Ooh, David
Uh,
Cunningham said USC will beat Notre Dame next week.
Notre Dame coming off of that loss to I'm sorry, beating Notre Dame lost to Louisville.
Mhm.
It was the first time that Notre Dame's lost to an ACC team in like I don't several years. I think that the luster for Notre Dame is gone, and he said that USC will beat Notre Dame. I need for Notre Dame to beat USC so that my Alabama boys who were 11 and stayed at 11 can jump back into the top 10.
Yeah. I think
He said property taxes are high in Texas. Is that true?
yeah,
Is
because
it
they don't
competitive?
have as much they don't have income taxes. You get taxed either way. You don't pay income taxes, but you get property taxes are high. So
Oh,
it evens out.
all right.
Um
Let's see. That's enough for the sports quick hits. Have you heard the
okay.
name Dick Buckus?
Yep.
Dick Buckus passed away. He lived from December 9, 1942 until October the 5th, 2023. He was an American football linebacker, sports commentator, and an actor. Invited to the Pro Bowl 8 times in 9 seasons, named first team All Pro 6 times. When you think of the Chicago Bears, you think of the man whose name was Dick Butkus, who was born Richard Marvin Butkus, played for the Chicago Bears his entire career. Stats
He's
wise, he didn't have he didn't carry a lot of stats wise. He was drafted number 3 overall in the NFL draft, but then interesting enough, because of things that had occurred, he was also in the AFL draft that same year, round 2, pick number 9. In college, he was an All-American as well, played for the University of Illinois, in which he played both center and linebacker during the 1962 to 1964 teams. Dick Butkus is known in Chicago when you think about that gruff, gritty Chicago Bears defense. You think about Dick Butkus as well. He was part of the what was the name of that team? Y'all help me out. He was part of collectively the Bears team in the late 60s were known
oh,
as
yeah, and they
Group.
had for their defensive line, they had a name for them. What was it called?
Man,
Let me Google it. I'll break down. I'll Google it.
hey, Google it, please do. Please do. He was also in 1969 and 70, he was named NFL Defensive Player of the Year, which was voted by NFL players.
Well, he was the monster of the Midway was his.
Monster of the Midway. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Mhm. But I don't uh they had a name for that whole defense though, and I don't remember what it was.
His rookie contract was
Oh, just
only
monsters of the Midway. Okay.
$200,000.
All right.
200,000. There we go. Monsters of the Midway. Absolutely. Thank you, David Cunningham. Mike Larson said, "Can you say dick and butt kiss slower and a few more times?" Are you going to clip this and post it over on the YouTubes there, Mike Larson? Mad Mike. David Cunningham said Dick Butkus was a great guy. He played with Gale Sayers.
Mhm.
So I've never met Dick Butkus in real life, but I know some people that have, and several people have said that, man, there's something about this guy that when you meet him, he seems like the everyday dude, like the hardworking
Mhm.
guy that just cares about going out and getting the job done and then coming home and being with his family. I couldn't find anything negative about him online. There were some he was uh he had a lawsuit against the team in which they owed him some money, and he was able to actually win the suit against the Bears team doctor and gained more than almost $2 million in compensatory damages and punitive damages as well. Um, in which he stated that the Bears didn't give proper care which caused irreparable damages to his knee.
Mhm.
But he's ranked number one in the NFL's top 10 most feared tacklers of all times. Dick Buckus passed away, leaving away family at the age of how old was he? 85?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 80 years old, dude. Ugh. Now that I'm 40, I look at getting old a little bit different,
Right.
right? I'm starting to spend a lot more time talking to my dad. My dad's he's in good health, 60, 63,
Mhm.
64. He watches the show as well. And he's getting up at that age, man. You hear people like Dick Buckus and a lot of the people that I grew up watching or listening to, 80, 85, man, dropping. And I'm like, I'm halfway there.
Yeah.
What do you feel about old age?
Man, I'm already old.
How old are you? If
I'm
you don't mind me
43. I'm
43?
43.
Alright.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, and this is we were talking about that like just last night. Cause okay. So my mother-in-law had cancer, right? She had breast cancer. She's going through treatments and stuff. She's doing a lot better now, right? She's had her hip replaced. And my father-in-law just had both his knees replaced, and he can barely get around. And like it's like 2 years ago, they were good, man. You know what I mean? Like 2 years ago, everything was fine. Now it's I can't walk, I can't do this. And I was like, I coach my youngest daughter, she plays U8 soccer, right? She's 7 years old. I coach that. And running back and forth yesterday for an hour. They have hour games. They run back and forth for an hour because you're on the field with them. You know, you're kind of like the ref and the coach and everything. And I get off that field. I'm like, I can't walk, man. My feet hurt, my knees hurt. And I'm like, I used to jump out of airplanes and now I can't walk after an hour of physical activity. Like, so it's catching up to me. You know what I mean? I go home and I'm just dead. I'm tired. So yeah, I see that.
How old is your youngest kid?
My youngest kid is 7.
Okay,
She's my youngest.
so
And my
that's great.
oldest is 23. We'll be 23 this year.
Do you have any other kids in
In the
between
middle.
that?
Oh yeah, we have all kinds. I have well between me, I've given birth. Well, not me, I didn't give birth, but I've fathered 4 kids total. I have
Mhm.
a 23-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 7-year-old. My wife and I together, we have 8 kids.
Are
So
they, like, active and stuff and they're
they're in
in
everything. They're in
And the reason
everything.
why I ask you, brother, I don't know how y'all do it. I went to go support a friend who they both played college sports,
Mhm,
both the wife and the husband, and they have 3 kids, 10, 7, and, like, 3.
mhm,
And while one kid was coming at the tail end of a soccer game, the other kid was about to start a football game, and their youngest, who's a girl, they wanna get into sports and stuff as well, and I'm like, "How do y'all have a life?
mhm.
How do you do it?"
I don't know. I don't. I just kind of. So this weekend, okay, I had Saturday. I had my daughter's U8 game at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 to 10. Then the college here in town was having their homecoming, so we went to the parade. Then we came home. My daughter, my other daughter, my 16-year-old daughter, she is a junior, and we're in the high school soccer playoffs. She had a game at 11. We watched that on TV because they drove 6 hours on the bus to go up
Oh,
to this game. Yep. So we couldn't make that because at 7 o'clock yesterday evening, my son was playing the boys team in the semifinals of the state playoffs. That was a home game, so I got to go to that. Came home, they lost, so now he could go back and play with his U16 team. So we got up this morning at 6, left at 6:30 to be in Gillette for his game at 9, which is an hour and a half drive away. And then we were there all day, came back, we got back at 1, my wife had to work at 2, and then I had to be down here at 5. Yeah.
man.
Uh-huh. And
Wow.
that's like an average weekend for us. Next weekend, my buddy's got a wedding, so it's not so bad. Weekend after that soccer tournament, and I have 3 kids playing in that soccer tournament. Luckily, it's all in the same complex, but I know for at least 2 games, I'm gonna have kids, or 2 time slots, I'm gonna have kids on 2 different fields and different sides of complex.
How
And
do you choose
oftentimes,
how do you choose the way that you go support?
well, my U8 daughter, I'll be her coach. So that's easy. But usually my wife and I will pick one and we start and then we swap at half. That's usually what we do. But I mean, dude, these big soccer complexes, it's like a 10-minute walk across them, you
Mhm.
know? So it's a 10-minute half. So the whole time walking across it. I think one of ours is going to be easy. Cause okay. So for our fields, the boys and girls play right next to each other. So we can just kind of sit in the middle and watch. But yeah, this one's going to be tough. We're going to be walking, and hopefully it's kind of one of those deals, dude. You don't want your kids to win, because then in like the finals and shit, and then so you're there all fucking day on Sunday. But if they lose, then you got to deal with kids who are pissed off they lost, and you don't really like, oh, just fucking lose already, so we can go home. So it's tough, yeah. And then okay, so the tournament ends on Sunday. Monday, our 13-year-old, or no, he's not 13. The 11-year-old starts wrestling. And wrestling will go to Christmas. And then indoor soccer starts in December. We have a first tournament, usually the month of November we have off, but now that Gabe's in wrestling, we'll be spent all that month. And so we get our 2 months will break are June and July. Soccer
Ooh.
ends at the end of June, and then we have July off, and I have to be back the first week of August.
I have 1 kid, she's 16.
Hmm.
If I had my way, she would be into sports. I'm real curious. At one point, because I would go to her school when she was in 5th grade and under, she was like the fastest kid, not just the fastest girl, she was the fastest kid.
Yep.
In middle school, right, when the boys are starting to grow up a little bit, that kinda changed a bit, but she was still like top 5% as far as speed goes.
Hmm.
And when you take a look at my daughter now, she doesn't work out. She looks like she's in gymnastics because she's got like a muscular build to her. I
Right.
wish she's played sports. I would love to be taking her out to various things or whatever, but she's like into the art. She's not interested in sports
Right.
whatsoever.
See, I have a daughter like that though. My daughter's a senior. She's in the marching band and the drill team. She does all the drama stuff and concert choir, and she's in a cappella. So that throws
That's
a
my
wrench in
kid.
it. So yeah, so you know that schedule, right? And that is the weeks we have off from any of our other sports. Then we have to go to the musical for both nights because our daughter's in that. So
Yep.
yeah, yep.
Wow. All right, man. Hey, shout out to Richard Bronco for popping up. I appreciate you and salute to you as well. Mike Larson said, "You don't have a life. That's why he coaches, participates, and guide them his way."
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. David Cunningham said, "Are you guys off for Columbus Day tomorrow?" I am. I'm a federal employee, and my job isn't one that I would be required to work on federal holidays, so I am off tomorrow.
Yep. I am off work tomorrow ish. I'm a county employee, but I'm kind of salary, and I've got some stuff I have to do tomorrow because I have a big meeting on Tuesday. So I've got my laptop, so I'll do some work because obviously I didn't do anything over the weekend for work wise.
Yeah, dude.
So, shows. I don't think ICE is taking Native American Day off.
Oh,
Columbus Day, Native American Day, whatever you want to call it.
he's talking about. Oh, he's not talking about. You don't care about my real life. You're talking about if WTF Nation Radio is going to be off
He's
tomorrow.
worried about hanging out with ICE. Like, are you guys gonna like have ICE on? Because you guys are. Yeah, you guys take it off. Yeah, we're off on Mondays. That's ICE's job on Mondays. With Massey. I need to write that on my thing. ICE and Massey on Mondays.
David Cunningham said, "I have a 24-year-old that just graduated from Columbia University." That's right. You told us that. With his master's in sports journalism, he wants to be a sports agent. I think Coach might know a sports agent or two, like a really
Mhm.
known sports agent, man. I did have a cousin that played. I know at one point he talked about wanting to do it, but he got really successful because he was a part of the Patriots team that, he was on the Patriots team that lost to the Giants, but he was very successful doing real estate up in the Boston area as a former member of the Patriots. He's since moved down south. He's currently living down in Georgia doing something different. But I know at one point he talked about being a sports agent. I think you have to have a certain attitude to be a successful sport
Mhm.
agent, but that's a job that I would love to do, man. Just to be around, help navigating people's careers a bit and earning some money while doing it. Can't go wrong with that.
Man, I think it'd be tough. It'd be tough, man. I kind of feel like some of those guys are kind of greasy, and you don't want to deal with them though. Too, I wouldn't want to be that. Michael says he knows one is a big D bag. Probably, I believe it.
I do too.
So there's 38 seconds left in the first quarter. 49ers are up 7-0. So
Man, what has the let's see, Dak Prescott's 2 for 4 for 7 yards. Tony Pollard's 2 carries for 5. CeeDee Lamb has one of those catches for 8 yards. Not a lot of offense coming out of Dallas.
nope, not a lot of offense at all.
Ew. Ew. Philadelphia sitting at the top of the NFC East at 5-0. Who saw that coming?
I mean,
You said that Dallas hadn't played anybody. As of right now, they've only got 41 points against them through their first 4 games, not including this one, obviously. They are the NFC East pretenders. The Cowboys are not gonna do anything. So the people that be like, "Oh, how about the Cowboys? This is our year." I've
that's
looked
every
at
year
the
they
rest
do
of
that
their
shit.
schedule. Y'all are gonna have some pretend wins, but then coming into the playoffs, trash.
Man, they do that shit every year though. How about them boys? Them
I love
boys.
them boys.
Every year, man. Uh
Let's see.
yeah, because the
Bu bu bu
what about the Bucks? Who do you think right now? Okay, we're in week 5. Right. Who do you think is the who's been the biggest surprise, do you think,
the
in the
Dolphins.
NFL? The Falcons?
The Dolphins.
Dolphins? Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe. And I'm gonna say this because there was a lot of talk about them kind of, in the off season. And then when preseason started, they were like, oh man, the fucking Dolphins are playing. I mean, like, I don't know.
Then you might can say, second to that, I would have said the Lions.
I was gonna say, I think the Lions. Because they didn't get a lot of they didn't really get a lot of press. Maybe there wasn't. I didn't hear it. But like the Lions being 4-1, man, that's surprising to me. It's surprising to radar.
Surprising to me as well. I mean, here's their first 5 games. A 1-point win against the Chiefs, a 6-point loss against the Seahawks, a 20-6 win over the Falcons, a 34-20 win over the Packers, and then they beat the Panthers today 42-24.
Yeah.
Now, their next 3 games coming up, they have Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay, the Ravens in Baltimore, and then they have a home game against the Raiders October the 30th. Man, they have a home game against the Raiders? Oh, dude. And that's a 1 o'clock game?
Yep.
That's my daughter
No. No, that's a 6:15 game.
Oh, it says 1 o'clock on my side.
Mine says 6:15 PM on the 30th.
Oh, no, sorry. Not the Raiders game, the Ravens game.
Oh, the Ravens game. I showed it. Yeah. It'd be 1 o'clock
Ravens
your time.
game.
Yeah.
I might go to that game. Let's see. Do I have my daughter that weekend? See, I have my daughter this weekend, so I don't have my daughter that weekend. I got plans. I might go to that Ravens game, man.
Yeah, that might be a
one
good
o'clock
one.
game, and then come back and do the show that evening. If it ain't too cold and the weather's not crappy, y'all may catch me. Y'all may catch me at the Sports Guard in my Ravens jersey at the Baltimore Ravens game. See if the Detroit Lions are for real in person. Mike Larson said that we've been here, just needed to a healthy, and that to him, the Lions are the biggest surprise. And David
Yep.
Cunningham said Detroit as well.
Yeah, I think
I
the Lions has kind of been I think that's probably my pick for being the biggest surprise. Maybe the Bucks too.
Why do you say that?
I don't because they kind of when Brady was like, I'm done, because they kind of sucked after with Brady. I mean,
Mhm.
they weren't they're whatever. And then Brady's like, fuck it, I'm out. And then now they're coming back, they're 3-1. Like that's they didn't seem to have a lot of hope. You know what I mean? They weren't. We were talking earlier about that electricity. They didn't seem to have it. They seemed real down. Here they are, 3-1. I think the Panthers at 0-5. I didn't think they were going to do great, but I didn't figure they'd be 0-5 5 weeks in.
Me neither. And they've been in 3 of their games too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back here. Because I know, let's see, I was just looking at them the other day. I didn't think Bryce Young was going to come out and have a monster year, but the whole NFC South though, none of those teams. So you were just talking about the Bucks. I don't see a team in the NFC South that I think has a chance when it comes time to the playoffs.
No,
The F-
no,
None of them. The
no.
Falcons are, they're laughable. To me, the Falcons are one of the most boring teams currently,
Yes.
besides the Broncos.
Yep.
Denver showed me nothing on either side of the football. The
No.
Falcons are the same way. They're 6 yards here, 7 yards there. They're not pushing it downfield. You got an injured Joe Burrow tossing the rock downfield. And Denver and Russ and Ritter with the Falcons, 7 yards, 6 yards. They might get a little spicy and throw a 15-yarder here or there. It's boring football. They got spanked by the Lions.
Yep.
The Panthers, other losses were relatively close, besides losing to the Seahawks by 10 and the Falcons by 14, which even that one was close up until the fourth quarter. And then and then the Panthers go to Miami on the 15th, so they don't have a game. Oh, yep, they have a game this Sunday at 1 o'clock. That might be 90-12.
Yeah. Right.
CQ was telling me that Tariq Hill was quoted as saying that there's a guy on the practice squad that even he wouldn't try racing against. When you consider that they have Mostert, who played track, Achan, who put up like 21 something miles per hour in this game until Tariq Hill got clocked at a 22. I saw that I think Denver had signed a guy whose last name is Evans from the Miami's practice squad. He was
Mhm.
a running back. I'm curious if Evans is the guy that Tariq Hill was talking about and saying that there's one person that he wouldn't even challenge that was sitting on their practice squad. And if that
Maybe.
guy is now a Denver Bronco.
Top 7 fastest in the year are from Miami, according to Michael Larson. I believe it.
Ridiculous.
But here's the thing. Like today, Tua did great. They threw 2 interceptions. Like, can he keep that up? Can he keep that up and still be a Super Bowl contender?
Yes.
Okay.
Easily.
I don't know, man. That I feel like Tua is still their weak spot. And he's my quarterback, dude. And I like him. I just think he's kind of like their. I feel like if he doesn't perform, if he doesn't throw for 300 yards a game, they're not going to win.
Huh.
I feel like that's a lot of pressure to put on a young kid.
Interesting. Let me take a look at something here because they're accounting for a shit ton of yards. Tua's got 13,000 now. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
1,300, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 of them which came today. Huh. I don't know, man.
Well, Tua, like Michael R said, Tua is the glue for that team. That's any quarterback. If they don't perform, they won't win.
Who's the
Yes and
backup?
no. What's that? Who's
Who's
their
the
back? Who
backup?
the fuck? I don't know. Someone. Somebody who's a better quarterback than I am. I'm 43 years old and I'm 5'8" and 240. Of course, I'm not going to be their fucking backup quarterback. So I'm talking a lot of shit. But Mike says if he's out, we lose. I kind of feel like that. Or if he's underperforming. I mean, you don't really have I feel like there's not a Michael White is their backup. Who the
Mike
fuck is
White.
Michael White?
Yeah, that's right. He came over from the Jets. He's in his 5th year from Western Kentucky. They also
Oh.
have Skylar Thompson on their roster as well, who came over from Kansas State. He's in his 2nd year. So you have Mike White as the backup. He
49ers
doesn't
just scored
inspire
too.
a lot. I mean, he's
No, it
not
doesn't.
bad. He's not bad.
I feel like, man, I don't know. If he gets hurt or if defenses adapt to his play style, I don't know, man. I don't think that's not like if he. There's a lot of talent on that team. Here's the problem. When you have a team with a lot of talent on it, you're not gonna, they're not gonna be nothing. But I don't know.
Mike Larson don't want us to jinx his
We're not gonna jinx your shit, dude.
He said, shut up talking
Just shut
about
the fuck
my
up.
team.
Let's talk shit about. Let's
Don't
put
you
that.
Juju.
Well, hopped up on Mountain Dew, Chip.
He's like, y'all shut up right now before you put Juju on my team. Hey, if you're rooting for them at some point because of Larson luck, things are just gonna happen that is going to derail them. And there's nothing that you can do about it. The San Francisco 49ers have scored again. Brock Purdy to George Kittle, 38-yard pass, extra point is good. Score is now 14-7, top of the 2nd quarter.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to do these push-ups, man, and I'm not thrilled about it. It is what it is. He said, take Tua's name out of your damn mouth right now.
Oh, all right. How about? Did you see the Buffs game yesterday?
Yes,
Did you watch that? What do you think of that? That was. I watched a little bit of it between games,
it
and I
was
was
a get
impressed.
back right game. Um, I'm a Coach Prime fan.
Mm.
I'm gonna say that. I want them to be successful
Yes.
because I'm a fan of him. Now, what I did notice is a more disciplined team. The fact that it was as close as it was scared me. The fact that Arizona State scored first and Colorado didn't immediately answer made me go, we don't need this loss." But I think that they had a get back right game. They looked a lot more disciplined
Hmm.
from midway through the 1st quarter to the end of the game. I saw a more disciplined Buffalo's team. It was a good win because I'm looking at their schedule now. They're coming up against Stanford on the 13th, and that's a late game.
Yeah.
I can't do it with the 10 p.m. Eastern games. I'll be asleep.
Right.
But,
They should be able to handle Stanford pretty handily, I think.
they should, but they also should have been able to handle Arizona State, in which they were favored to win. Let's see. They were favorite. Ooh, they were actually only 3-point favorites in that game.
Yeah.
Interesting. And
A
it was
ASU is not they're not nothing.
Mhm.
They're not nothing, but yeah. I think we give this is part of the problem, I think. I think this because this is as first year, as Coach Bryant's first year at Colorado, I wonder how much of this team that he's got on the field right now he got to choose.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So he's kind of working with some new old stock kind of, So I think if once his scouts get out there and he gets the kind of players who are going to more fit his play style and his coaching, I think they're going to get even better. But I think for them to turn around, because Colorado's kind of always been, meh, they're not really. I mean, okay, let me put it this way. In my opinion, it's hard to find schools who are genuinely contenders, not counting Texas, between the Mississippi River and the Pacific.
Okay.
I mean, people were like, "Oh, we got OU." Oh, yeah, really? It's hard for me to put OU on that. UT, they're good teams, but they're kind of and as big as Texas is in football, they're just not national championship contenders, I don't think. Right? And then you've got what Iowa State, Nebraska. I mean, these are all teams that were good. You could have called them good back in the day, but they're just not. A lot of people go to Nebraska because their grandpappy went to Nebraska and their daddy went to Nebraska, and they're going to go to Nebraska too. That'll make you good at football, dude. You know what I mean? That doesn't make you. They're kind of running a lot of their legacy. And well, back in the 70s, Nebraska was a good football team. Yeah, well, that was 50 years ago, dude. And then we look at teams. I'll even go like UCLA and stuff. Like they're just not like they're just the East Coast as of the last probably 10 years has been where the exciting competitive football teams come from. And then you take someone like UT and they're like, oh, we're Texas and we're going to do. And then they get to a bowl game and get their shit pushed in.
Mhm.
Nebraska, same thing. And same with Colorado. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm from a small town. And we always tell kids around here, like, all right, you're a small town good. You're the best player in this part of the state. But then you're going to go to college and you're going to get blown away.
Mhm.
And I think that's the way a lot of these kids are. Like people like you look at someone like Nebraska and the whole state is just Cornhuskers, and then they aren't that good. You know what I mean? And then you even kind of get into the Midwest, like around the Ohio River Valley. Get some teams in there that are kind of like, oh, go Buckeyes! Oh yeah, go lose! Like, you know what I mean? And so for Colorado, like last year, okay, if my kid was graduating high school 2 years ago, and they're like, hey, you want to come play for Colorado? Absolutely, yeah, it's get some money. Buffalo, or they're great. Go play for the Buffs, be fine. Get some money for college, be done. But now with his prestige and what he's wanting to do with that program, I think if you give him 4 or 5 years, I think he can really have a probably one of the best teams from the western half of the U.S. Give him some time to recruit the people he wants. I think he's going to have a really good team.
So they're leaving the Pac-12 after this season, going over to the Big 12.
Whatever. Big 12 sucks at football too.
Do you think that they can win the conference within the next 2 years?
Probably. Win the conference, absolutely. National champions, be contenders for national champions, not in 2 years. But they can beat the conference. I mean, who's in the Big 12 anymore? We got Iowa State. You know what I mean? Okay. OU. Sure. I think if you put Colorado on the field against, they haven't played Iowa State this year, have they? They're not going to.
Nope.
I bet they beat Iowa State right now. I mean, Who in the Big 12 would be a competition to them right now, as the way they sit?
OU and OU, UT, and Oklahoma State.
You think OSU?
Yes.
I don't know, man. No. OSU? They're 1-1 in the Big 12 right now. Oklahoma's 3-0. West Virginia.
Never mind. I take that back. I just saw who OSU lost to. They lost to South Alabama
Mm-hmm.
and Iowa State. I take that back. Kansas has been putting up points, and I want to say they're undefeated. Is Kansas
No,
undefeated?
Kansas is. There are 2-1 in the Big 12.
Yep, they are
So,
2-1 in the Big 12. They lost.
Overall 5-1. Oklahoma is the only undefeated team in the Big 12. They're 6-0.
They got blown out by Texas.
Yep.
So just Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma and Texas. Oklahoma and Texas.
Man, I think the Buffs could beat them. You know what? I bet it'd be a good game. I don't think it'd be a blowout.
State?
Hmm?
David Cunningham said Oregon State.
Oregon State's not in the Big 12.
Oregon State is. They're in the Pac-12.
They're
Yeah,
Pac-12.
yeah.
Same with Utah,
Pac-12.
Washington.
Oh, so David, yeah, they're going to the Big 12 next year.
Mhm.
Colorado.
But I just look at this big. I look at those teams in the Big 12, and I can't. OU, Texas, maybe. I don't know. I think it'd be tough. I think a lot of the good players from Texas go other places. They don't play for UT or A&M.
You did have a fantastic point, though. People haven't acknowledged the fact that you have taken Coach Prime, giving him essentially a new crop of kids in his first year and have made them competitive in his first year. That's not that hard to do. I've been a part of new teams a lot of different times. My time in the military as an aviator, we were essentially new teams almost every mission. And even though the job is the same, how it's conducted is different when you have new people forming together. There's the 5 stages of team building: forming, storming, performing, something else, and adjourning. We try to teach over here at the sports bar, and I was close with it. But he's just now forming these guys, getting them together year one. I believe that they are going to be competitive once they jump conferences. What I'm curious to see is how much time he's given to where he has to give a national championship before people are going to start calling for somebody else.
Well, here's my opinion on that. Okay, and this is I travel to Boulder a lot. My kids, my middle kids, their dad lives down there, right? So we're down there like all fucking summer. It seems like back and forth. Buffalo or Colorado, in that town, don't give a shit. Boulder does not give a shit about football. They don't. And their tuition rates are so fucking high already, right? And what Coach Prime has already done is brought they're sold out for like preseason practice stuff, right? There's so much, they're making money hand over fist over something they didn't make money on before. And I think as long as he's keeping those crowds coming in and they're competitive, he may never have to win them a national championship. I think as long as they stay, if they come in, if they're smoking the Big 12, I think if you put them, when they go to the Big 12 next year, if they're not Big 12 champs next year, they'll be the year after. And probably top 3 for as long as he's there. And I see Dallas has come back 7-14.
Yes.
But I really feel like Coach Prime is going to keep them at least competitive as long as he's allowed to do what he does. Now, I wonder, more so than him winning championships, is how if he starts bringing negative press. And there already is a pretty, I think there's a lot of old school kind of coaches that are against him and his kind of showboatiness and his just bringing attention to him, bringing the attention to him. And because, those, especially NCAA coaches kind of stay in the background. You know what I mean? They're not as flashy as NFL coaches. They don't see like the uh, value, I guess, in that. So, I mean, as long as he's bringing his crowds in and the team's competitive, I don't think that he actually is going to get shit canned for not winning a national championship.
Are you okay with your son playing for Coach Prime?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I mean, you look at some of the stuff that he has, he's a big proponent of them being an acting professional. And I think that in professional sports nowadays, you see these guys and all these kids look up to these professional ball players. You pick a sport and these kids, they don't go around saying, I want to be me. I want to be Jordan. I want to be Messi. I want to be fucking whatever. And Coach Prime has he's humbling those kids to and then making them a good example for my 7-year-old to follow.
Mhm.
Right. Which I really appreciate as a parent. And I think that needs to come back into sports a little bit to kind of calm that down a little bit. Now, he's also encouraging them. He's making sure they go to class. He's making sure they do good in their grades. He's really good because you know what it's like for them college athletes. Some of them, as long as they are performing on the football field, they don't give a shit how they do in class. He's not like that. He's like, you guys get your grades, you got to perform on this. You got to do this, da, 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 da. And I think that needs to come back to these student athletes too. Like he wants them to be better people all the way around on the field and off. And I really appreciate that. So if any of my kids was ever given, and not just Coach Prime and himself, but if when my kid's looking at going to play soccer for a college, and that's something I want to look at in their program is how do they treat their athletes? And I think he does a really, really good job at that. And for that, above all else, I think he's a good coach.
You said points that I would have also said as well, and I don't have anything to add to that. That would be different. For me, I think that there's value on how do they prepare you as a student athlete for having success, not just as an athlete, but also as a student as well, and how you can parlay that past college. Because I'm going to throw this out there. I have a graduate degree.
Hmm.
I have a master's in business. I kinda don't see a value in the college degree the way that college degrees used to be. Like, for example, I make good money, but my college degree isn't the reason why I make good money. Caleb Williams from USC is quoted as saying, now this wasn't a direct quote, it was a secondhand, so I'm not sure how true this is, that he might stay another year in college because he can make more money next year and then come into the draft the following year with these new NIL deals than he would if he were to stay and go into the draft this season coming out of USC, no matter what USC does or no matter if he wins a back-to-back Heisman.
Right.
Right? I think college can do a good job in setting up a young adult for real life, but I don't think it's necessary. Well, how about you?
I don't think it's necessary. A college degree isn't necessary, but I'm going to say this: it's sure helpful.
Yes.
And I think that no matter how good the student athlete is, they are a student first. That's why it's called a student athlete. And I really think that because I mean, you look at these kids all the time. How many Heisman Trophy winners actually do great in the NFL? You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's not a guarantee that you're going to go out there and then you're competing. It's a whole other level, and I think these guys don't understand that. They're like we were talking a minute ago. You're small town good, then you're college good. Well, are you NFL good? Because it's not like college where people age out. I mean, they do, but some of those guys are in the league for 10, 15 years. Just because you're coming up and you're all right as a college player doesn't mean you're going to come up and make millions of dollars. And then there's no guarantee that you're not going to play 2 games and blow your knee out and be done for the rest of your life. I mean, and that's a sad truth for that. And I don't want to see any of these guys get their knees blowed out or their back blowed out or get 30 concussions or whatever it is. But you can never take that degree away from somebody.
No.
And if that's what it takes to get them in the door, to get them on that path to make a good money, like you said, when we were kids, we're about the same age. When we were graduating high school, you needed a degree to get your foot in the door. That's not necessarily the case anymore. These kids now, that was 25 years ago for me to graduate, and a college degree doesn't hold the same amount of weight. But I've also, me personally, I've not gotten jobs because I don't have a degree.
Yes, that was the part where I was saying it doesn't affect me now, or isn't the reason why I have my high paying job. But I can say that if I were to step away from my current job, I have some additional leverage because I have a graduate degree.
Yep. And I have I have just the last job I just applied for. I just applied for a VSO position. And the only, and I'm already at that county. Everyone knows me. I'm already well liked there. But the guy they hired, the only difference between me and him, one, I've got more experience than he does. He has a degree.
Don't say it. Oh, don't say that. Don't tell me that. Wow.
So, I mean, to some people that has more weight. But it's kind of whatever. Okay, let me backpedal about that. Okay. Do I think the guy they hired is a bad fit? Do I think he's not gonna be able to do job? No, that's not true at all. I think he'll do fine. He'll be a fine VSO. But I didn't hit the if you look on paper at us, and I don't know how well he interviewed. I thought my interview went pretty well. But he has a degree and I don't. Wasn't a prerequisite for the position, but you know, it is whatever. Like I said, he'll do a fine job. He wants to help veterans and he'll be a great VSO, but that I feel like that's the only tick mark that he had that I don't. But I look at my wife. My wife's got her bachelor's, almost her master's, and still doesn't use it. She deals cards because she makes $60 an hour dealing cards. So why the fuck should she go be a teacher and make 40 grand a year when she can make 80 dealing cards?
Whew.
Yeah. So fuck it.
Hold up.
Yeah, that's why my wife's at work right now, making twice the money I make. So fuck it. I'll put an apron on. I'll make dinner for the kids. I'll do laundry. Fuck it. Go make money, baby.
Bravo.
So the discipline, teamwork, and esprit de corps while I was unmatched. I believe it.
Yes.
There is something to be said. And I'll say this too. I have had doors open for me because I'm retired from the military that I wouldn't have had open for me even with a degree. And I've got certain experiences from the military that have helped me get jobs. But if you look at these kids we're talking about, if you go to, and Colorado's it's not a bad, Boulder's not a bad town. And that's not a bad school. And if you leave there with a degree, you're going to get your foot in the door somewhere. And it's not just that, it's every college. And you're going to meet people and you're going to have great friends. And I think a lot of that same experience is shared between us in the military and college kids. They meet friends there, make connections they're going to use the rest of their life.
Yep.
And half of going to college is making those connections with people because everyone knows it's kind of who you know sometimes, not what you know.
Yes, my current position was because of somebody that knew about the opportunity and connected me to the person that I needed to apply to get it.
Yep.
And even though me and that person aren't friends anymore, I'm thankful for it.
Right. And that's where I'm at. The job I have right now, the position I have right now was because I knew I had done the job in the past and they had a position and they called me because they knew I knew how to do the job and it worked out great for me. So I love my job. It's not that I dislike it. It's just, it is what it is. So, but yeah, a lot of life is doing that. So, but I do think it's good for those kids to have that stick-to-itiveness. If nothing else, teach them, give them that, hey, this is the discipline you need to survive in this world to get this degree. So, and I hate that. I mean, I know when I went to college for a little bit, I know sitting there and I went to Black Hill State University. It's a D2 school, like whatever. And those kids, honestly, their football team, my high school football team could rock. You know what I mean? And they're out there, I play football. I don't need to pay attention. You do need to pay attention to English class, son, because you ain't getting scouted playing for Black Hill State University. There ain't no scouts in the stands, son. You got to go. You need that degree. You need something more than your football prowess. Dude, you threw 6 interceptions last weekend. You are not going to start. You're not Romo, dude. They're not going to pay you to throw interceptions. So,
But before we get into our final topic here, let's take a look at the Sunday night football game. It is still 14-7. 49ers over the Dallas Cowboys. 3 minutes and 24 seconds left. 49ers have the ball, and they are
second goal at the 1.
second to goal at the 1. Yeah, they are sniffing the end zone. All right, last pass, Brock Purdy passed it up to Debo Samuels for 9 yards, which got him here. Give it to Christian McCaffrey up the middle and score. If you don't Marshawn Lynch this, okay, no passing, none of this fancy double reverse stuff that gets fumbled and the other team picks it up. No, give it to your running back who is having an early MVP caliber season and score the goddamn touchdown.
Yup. Yeah, they did. 21-7.
Okay, who was it?
I don't know. Didn't
All
say.
right, let's see, because it hasn't refreshed over on my side yet. Because god dang, man, that always frustrates me. It's 2nd and 1, and you line up in freaking 5 wide and do a double pass trickeration bullshit. Run the goddamn ball. I can't stand the way some of these offensive coordinators be calling plays. It still hasn't updated, but Radar, last question for the day, last topic. What kind of coach are you? Let's say you're a high school football coach. And in the state that you're coaching, when you're leading by 35, the clock doesn't stop at all unless there's like any injuries.
Yep.
And you're playing your backups and your backups are performing well. Do you ease up off the gas pedal or do you keep taking it to them until there's double zeros at the end of the 4th quarter?
It depends.
On what?
Okay, one of the things it depends on is the rivalry.
Mhm.
Is it a team? Okay, there are certain teams. Every team has those teams. And there's an ebb and flow to sports, right? There are teams that are good for several years and bad for several years, and you go back and forth, right? And if I got this team that's been kicking the shit out of my boys, if they did that to me 5 years ago when they were good, my kids sucked, I'm running that fucking score up. It'll be 300-0 as far as I'm concerned, right? But if it's a friendly kind of team and we kind of have a little bit of a rivalry, but they wouldn't do it to me, I'm not going to do it to them, kind of thing. I'm also, okay, first off, if I have a team I know that isn't very good, I'm only playing my starters. I'm not letting my starters get to 35 points up. It's not going to be 35-0. Because I'm saving those guys. 2 reasons. One, I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want my core guys to get hurt on some scrub ass team.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, in 2 years, when those juniors and seniors are gone, I need my freshmen and sophomores to be playing at that level. Right. So I'm going to get them touches on the ball. I'm going to get them in the game and get them that real world experience against this team that isn't that great. So that way they can do that. Also, you've got those seniors who aren't that good, but have played for you for 5 years, kind of put them seniors in who don't get a lot of playing time because they're not your cream of the crop. Let those guys get the touches on the ball. Let those guys have some fun and keep your good guys for your harder teams or your playoffs. I know this time of year, high school teams are getting ready for some playoff action, right? So why risk getting your quarterback hurt? Why risk getting your running back hurt when you know you're going to beat that team from the very beginning, the minute you step on the field? Now, if there's some shit-ass team and they're fucking been cocky all week, maybe you get it 50-0 before you kind of start throttling them back. But I don't know. I see both. I see both ends of it. I see not. What about you?
I am don't take your foot off the gas pedal until the game's over. And I'm going to give experience to people as well. I am going to but also just kind of very similar to you. The core guys, hey, pull them out. I want to have them in enough to have tape for scouts and stuff to take a look at them on, but then pull them out, give other people the opportunity, see what they can do and things like that. But if it still ends up being like 60 some to 0, as you say,
Yeah.
sorry about it. It is what it is.
Yep, like David Cunningham said, putting the backups in was easing up. I get that. Now he also had a good point. When college teams do it for their bowl rankings, for their rankings. Now, let me ask you that though. Okay, so if you have a team, I don't know. You look at some of those rankings, right? If you're playing some scrub ass team, if you're playing idiot skills community college, it doesn't matter if you beat them 100-0 or 50-0 or 30-0. Like, you're not really getting a whole lot more votes either way, are you? I mean, if you drove that team in the ground, if you beat idiot skills by 100-0, right? Is UT getting extra votes for that? You know?
That's a good question.
And I'm not a sports writer, so I don't get a vote in them polls, right? But I just feel like you're probably not going to give a whole lot of weight to that.
Let me change your thought process up a bit. The reason why I'm bringing this up is this past Friday locally, there was a high school coach who was the coach of an undefeated team. They were 5-0, playing against a team that was coming in at 2-3.
Okay.
It was the 5-0 team's homecoming night. And mysteriously, their head coach had announced that he was not going to be not just not coaching, but not on the sidelines. And speculation is because he has been not showing sportsmanship in their prior games in which they won last week 75-3 on
Okay.
a Saturday game. And the game before that, they beat up on a team 35-0, in which the team that was undefeated head coach said he apologized on Twitter and said that some of the late scoring in that game shouldn't have happened. And I hear that and go, what do you mean? The point of playing the game is to score. What do you mean some of the scores shouldn't have happened? And 35-0 is not, I mean, if it's
That's not bad.
35-0 in the first quarter, there is still a chance that the other team can come back and win, albeit a small chance, but it's still possible. Now, if he would have said, oh, some of the scores shouldn't have happened at the end of the game, and the result was like 60-0, okay, cool. I think there's merit to that. But the fact that I think you got to ease up a bit, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it
I
one
don't
bit.
I don't like it when someone like purposely says you have to ease up. No, I'm the fuck coach. Now I'll tell you, my high school, well, not my high school, my high school my kids go to, they lost Friday night 62-13.
Ooh.
So I mean, like I just watched it happen, and that team they didn't pull their starters. They just kept right on a fucking throttling. They just kept right on a throttle. They didn't give a shit.
Ouch.
So I mean, like, I think that's kind of a dick move. But then again, you know what? I don't give a shit. Hey, if that's what, because here's the deal: in 4 years, their team's going to suck, and we're going to be good. So that's the team I go out. I don't beat them 62-13 in 3 years when their seniors and freshmen are all gone.
Yeah.
But because here's the deal, we only had 3 third down conversions. You know what I mean? They only had 4, but they were 4 of 7. They only had 7 opportunities to convert on third down because they were just throwing the shit out of us. They're 41 yard bombs. So fuck them. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
but okay, so this is that one. Because you posted this earlier. I saw that. Fuck them.
So
I sure wouldn't pull my coach.
Yep. Well, the coach didn't coach, and they ended up losing to the team that was 2-3 coming into the game. And not only did they lose, hold on, they got spanked. Let me go back because I just found the score here. They got beat 55-16 in a game that they should have easily won. Now, one can say that if they had their head coach, who that it shouldn't have happened. They should not have lost their homecoming. So now,
Mm.
for whatever reason, that it sounds political to me. It
Mhm.
sounds very freaking political that because it wasn't disclosed why he wasn't coaching. He was practicing with the team all week getting ready, but that he wasn't going to be coaching on the sidelines and nobody's saying why. Now you rob the the seniors of an opportunity in which I can argue they would have won their homecoming game had their coach been on the sideline.
Mm. I'm gonna have a retort for that. Okay.
I'm listening.
Did their playbook change? Their playbook didn't change. Their fucking
No.
their assistants should have been fucking just as good at calling plays as their fucking head coach. Not to be a shit, but I'm just saying that whole you should have everyone wrapped in the same fucking system. You're 3/4 of the way through the season. Everybody should be like, you know what I mean?
The
Like
motivation's different
the
though.
motivation's absolutely it is. But I'll tell you what. Okay, 2 weeks ago we went and played a team for their homecoming. Right?
Mhm.
They haven't won a game all fucking season, and they beat us. I don't even. I pulled it down, but they beat us by like 3 touchdowns.
Ooh.
Yeah. But they were shit. They're a shit team. They're a shit team this week. They were a shit team 2 weeks ago. But when we played them, they fucking kicked the shit out of us because they had that motivation. It was their homecoming. Their seniors wanted to show off in front of their fucking buddies, and we were undefeated going into that game. And they hadn't won one coming in that game. So, I mean, there's something to that. It's your fucking this mother. I saw one of the, well, they just took all of our love away for our game or fucking far home. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Pull yourself up over the fucking jockstrap and fucking play the game. Because what if that coach would have had a fucking heart attack? They'd have been out there fucking win one for the Gooper or some shit. Right? Fuck it. No, you and this is you should I know soccer is different than football. Kind of. Because it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. I mean, there's some talent. I'm not saying it's all in the mind.
Mhm.
But if a team goes in hungry, they can win. They at least have a chance. Right? And I get it. Pulling that fucking I didn't read in there whether I from what I gathered, the coach pulled himself. That they didn't pull the coach pulled himself. So you can't really blame the school or the athletic association or anybody else if the coach pulled himself. Now, what did the AD say to the coach to make the coach be like, fuck it, I'm out? That's a whole nother situation. But that's for the big boys to talk about, right? But those fucking players should have went in and be like, fuck that. We're not fucking pulling back on anybody. That's up to those team captains. It's up to those seniors. It's up to them to go in there with that right mindset. The politics should have been off to the fucking side or whatever, but those kids should have went out. Those kids can be like, well, but fucking Aiden is all mad because his coach couldn't come to the sidelines, and Braden and Caden, and they didn't even play. And fuck that, dude. Fucking make it work. Like a bunch of fucking whiny ass spoiled white kids is what it is. Do you see that they're Braden and Caden and Aiden and all them fucking left fucking Starbucks and couldn't fucking show up for their football game. So no, I don't feel bad for them.
You
Now,
know, I tried to text somebody while our show was on earlier who's kind of in the know. He has a brother that plays on the team, and he said that they're being real tight-lipped about it and that even he couldn't figure out it. He's like networked with that town and that area, and he's like, bro, even I don't know what's going on. He said it doesn't sound like it was anything that would cause an infraction. His best guess in what he texted me was that this was to prove a point to somebody. And I don't know what point's being proven by choosing to not coach on your sideline on your homecoming game.
But I'm gonna say, man, like I said, even with the coach being gone, there is that mindset there. But if they really are that talented, if they really are that good a team, then they should have very handily beat them, no matter who the coach was. Their plays in play, the team, and there was a bunch of kids that were hurt. There was a bunch of kids, the starters didn't walk off with the coach or some shit, right? Like, it wasn't anything like that. Just the coach is like, no, I can't do this. I'm out. Man, our football team ain't going, man, the Israelis are going to bomb Hamas they're going to turn them into dust. We ain't even getting into that tonight. Hamas ain't shit.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, and we'll close the show on this. How much about that news do you know? Because I'm gonna tell you, I haven't been keeping up with it. I know that
I
the area's been in conflict since like the
I
beginning of time, but do you think that this is gonna be something that the US is gonna get involved in?
no,
Okay.
no, no. I mean, like at the absolute most, and this is I'm surprised we haven't done this yet in that area because I mean, like the West Bank has been fucking a political dumpster fire for years, and I don't think it'll be us. I bet it'll be the UN at some point. Will throw in peacekeepers. But I don't. I honestly, the fucking Israelis are already like bombing the shit out of it. There probably won't be much left soon. Honestly, they've been shooting. They shot off like 5,000 rockets in like a day, dude.
I read that. I read
We
that.
have Americans that have been taken hostage. Yeah, there might be some spec op shit, but they ain't gonna put they ain't gonna put like 22 mu on the ground. They're not gonna you're not gonna see airborne. You're gonna see paratroopers jumping in. You might see some fucking SEAL team or Delta Force something go in there and do that, but the Israelis are gonna bomb the fuck out of them, and then they're gonna. I don't know, dude. You don't take a knife to a gunfight, and you don't take an AK to fucking to tanks and F-16s. You just don't do it, dude. Like, I don't know. I really don't. You know what though? They're doing the same shit the Ukrainians are doing. They're dropping fucking grenades from like from drones and blowing up tanks and APCs and shit. So maybe there'll be something, but I don't know. I don't see it. But and I don't even know how many Americans were taking hostage. I know there was like there's like some festival or some shit there, and they took a bunch of international people hostage, and there was some like German singer that they had all fucking tied up, and she was dead. Had obviously been like she was like in her underwear, and that was it. And I was probably less than that for a while. So I mean, there's been a lot of the thing. This is what how do I put this without sounding like a dick? They're filming it. They're filming everything. They're filming their own war crimes. You know what I mean? And that's not going to get them a lot of support from other people. But look at ISIS, and they would cut people's heads off and put it on the internet on purpose. So who knows? I can't pretend to understand how terrorists think anymore.
Yeah, me neither. I barely understand how the average person thinks because I think that most people are crazy anyway.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, that is our show for today. Radar, I'm glad that you were able to pop in and do this, man. You know, it's always nice to have some different stank up in the air sometimes.
You know
And
what? And you know what? We didn't even say any. I gotta say it. We didn't say words about Taylor Swift, but now we said words about Taylor Swift.
oh, too late. You broke it. You broke it. I had two things that I was going to bring up, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But you did it.
I did it. I did. I
And
had to do it.
now
I have to say Donza for Spanky and Taylor Swift for Coach. That's what I got to do every show now. Man, if I wasn't worried about getting all my shit muted, I played Taylor Swift songs. I was going to play a Taylor Swift song when he was on the other night, but I was like, man, they'll get cut. Well, I'll get all kinds of bans. I don't want to do that.
Yep, mute. So far, I've only been muted one time or played something that I shouldn't have had played or whatever. Next thing I know, it's like your stream has been cut off. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. You know what? I haven't had my stream cut off for a long time, but they sure muted it afterwards.
Mm.
So.
I tried to ask Ice in our team room if he's going live tomorrow. So I don't know if he's going to respond in the next 2 minutes, but be on the lookout and follow all of the social medias to see if he is going live on I Found a Country Day, aka Columbus Day.
Yes.
Radar.
Native American Day in South Dakota. Final recap, there's 50 seconds left in the second quarter, and it is 21-7 49ers still.
Dang it. All right. Well, hey, y'all.
First and 10 on the Dallas 25.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and crank out the push-ups, record it, and post it on the sports bar page. So if you want to see me lose my bet and do my push-ups, be sure to check out the Sports Bar USA's Facebook page and all of that. Now we can't end the show until my man David Cunningham says, "Great show, guys," and he put it out there. He said, "Great show, guys. Have a blessed week all." That is our official end the show here at the Sports Bar. So thanks to David Cunningham. We will now tune off. Radar, you weren't going to be the one that beat me
Nope,
this
wasn't
week.
me.
I'm still going to be undefeated going into next week. So to you, I say next time, brother.
Next time, buddy.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me on.
I'm going to hit you with what CQ used to do for old time's sakes. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, Radar.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Say bye, Radar.
Bye, Radar.
All right, y'all. We are out. Peace.